Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, no matter where in the world you might be. It's a new week, it's a blank canvas, and it's Monday Madness with the Highbury Squad. Let's roll.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
The Highbury Squad is powered by ZENITH Coins. Support the future, treasure the past. Official licence partner of the Arsenal Football Club. Follow at ZENITH Coins across all social platforms.
Good evening, and thanks to our partner ZENITH Coins. The Highbury Squad coming to you live this fine Monday. We know many of you will be watching Manchester United versus Liverpool, and some of you will be listening to us via our audio platforms on iTunes, Acast, and Spotify. Please, as we said, visit our friends at ZENITH Coins, give them a follow, and you can find yourself getting 20% off if you use HS20 as the code. Get yourself a fine coin, serial numbered with a certificate of authenticity that looks beautiful like this. Welcome to the podcast, my brother from another podcast mother, Mr. Super Kevin Campbell.
How are you, Sophie? How are you, squaddies? I hope you're all well. I hope you're ready for a good night of football and a good night of Highbury Squad Monday Madness. At ease.
At ease, everyone. Good evening to each and every one of you. Oi, oi, Kev. Salah 2 goals. Well, we'll see what happens in that game. We'll keep our eye on it as we are broadcasting here, of course. Good evening to Amir, to Lynn, to Terence, to Mark, to Liz, to Trev, to all of the usual suspects and squaddies in the house. By the way, a little bit of housekeeping, and I'll do the rest at the end of the show. Yes, last year we did not enter ourselves at all, but this year people keep saying, "Are you going to try and enter the football content awards?" And ideally, I'd like someone to run the social media campaign for me because I absolutely don't have time. But if you so do feel inclined to vote for Highbury Squad, this is what you do. I'm voting at Highbury. I'm voting at something. Anyway, look, see, I'm a hot mess already. Don't even know what I'm doing. Look out for a link we're going to share. You can vote for the Highbury Squad as best club content creator. Give us your vote. We'd appreciate it. And we will not, unlike your politicians, let the people down in any way. Super Kev did the post-game show solo. It was a very happy occasion. Want to get your take on the match. We haven't spoken about it. But also this narrative, Kev. Top of the league. It's only 3 games. Who have you played yet? Is it always one rule for the Arsenal and another for everybody else?
Yeah, people can say that. You haven't played anybody yet, and that's always going to get leveled at you when you haven't played the kind of big names. But try and tell Chelsea that now. Look what happened to Chelsea yesterday against a team who barely stayed in the league last season. Kuchuku barely stayed in the league. Everyone expecting Chelsea to go there, flex their muscles and pull the 3 points down. Got absolutely torched. Absolutely torched. And you could question whatever. The best team won on the day. Now, we know what happens when you don't go to opposition grounds and perform, so it doesn't matter who you play. If you do not perform, when you cross that white line, if you do not perform, you are going to struggle. So I don't want to hear all this, oh, but you haven't played anybody yet. You've got to play people week in, week out. This is what the Premier League's the toughest in the world. And yeah, we will get to play some of the other big boys. But don't just put the others as fodder. I tell you that much. I thought Arsenal were sensational, Sophie. The way they dominated, the way they controlled the game, and even more so, the way Zinchenko. Chelsea weren't complacent. They got battered, Lynn. It weren't complacency. Oh well, that that response
Gonna
to
get to that.
Saliba putting it in the top corner was immense. But I thought Zinchenko, he must have been listening to the conversation we
Kev?
had with Jordan, and Zinchenko said, "I'll show you." Do you know what, so did you see there were times where he was even on the right of midfield?
Mm.
He goes where he's needed and where he can help. And if he's got to go there, he's going to go there and help us dominate. Sophie, the bottom line, Aston Villa, who were a lot of people's tip to maybe challenge for Europe this season, they went to Bournemouth and got toasted.
Hmm.
We go there and absolutely dominate. And let's be honest, it should have been 4-5, really. It should have been 4-5. Jesus was so unlucky, just offside. Eddie had a chance. Jesus had another chance. We saw some other chances goal begging. But on the scheme of things, Soph, Aaron Ramsdale, spectator, had one save to make, which probably was actually going wide, but just to get his kit dirty, I think.
He was a bit bored, wasn't he, Kev?
Yeah, he made that save. So again, if you don't get on the pitch and do the business, these games are banana skins. But Arsenal are making it look easy when it's not. So do you know what? We're top of the league. I'm delighted for everybody who suffered. And we are not getting above our station. But after 3 games, we deserve to be where we deserve to be. And that's at the top right now. So it's nice.
I mean, City got a lot of credit when they stuffed Bournemouth 4-0.
Last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last week. So, Kev, there was a lot to be, I think people, part of this narrative, oh, it's only 3 games in. Well, last season, everybody went in on Arsenal 3 games in, including folks like myself and fellow fans. 3 games, no wins, no goals, big fat zeros, every single where. Terrible for a bingo card. And now we're 3 games in, the only team to have a perfect record, and the narrative is flipped. It's Arsenal are damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't. So the same energy needs to be applied. Which I've done. Did you miss the show?
Of course, I was working, so I can't keep up, Sophie. I can't keep up with you. I'm not just doing that to you. I'm doing that to the squaddies. Remember, delusional Campbell. You remember?
Yeah, but they had every right to, be concerned about the 3 and the 3.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about now. So, as you rightly said, you were right, well within your rights to have a go at last season. But now it's this season and it's 3-3. So, come on.
To be fair to many of the squaddies, and there were quite a few hundred of them in live chat, and thank you so much to all the 10,000 plus who listened, by the way. Love how there's great energy for our show this season again. They were very complimentary, and the people that were being a bit snippy were getting it in the chat by many. So, Gunnar Russ, who's been a skeptic, I wonder what he's saying these days.
Soph, remember, all those who were calling me delusional, I'm saying it's the players, and it is the players. We've added 3 quality players, and look at what we're doing now. That's all. We've added 3. So, is it not the players? The players are doing the business now that they've crossed the white line. And they're making us very proud.
I also agree with Gunnar Colt. You judge a team on where they're at in the season and what they've done. They have had a perfect start, which everyone else competing in the top six has thought is so far ideal. Keep it up. Whereas last season, there was even a teeny tiny moment, Kev, where you even questioned, like, the team, the manager. You've always stood by and said it's the players. 3 players have really changed the trajectory and had an immediate impact. I think one of the toughest parts for us in the transfer market and with players coming through is players not being able to have an immediate impact on the pitch. You know, I go back to maybe the Alexis Sanchez signing, a player who was able to immediately impact on the pitch. Aubameyang was able to come in and immediately have an impact on the pitch. You know, we had to wait a while for Mustafis and the Sokratis and the Kolasinaches, and they were not as consistent. To have these players come back, and I don't care what anyone says, I know Saliba has been there a long time, but he too feels like a brand new signing. And these 3 players have already transformed our club.
Quality, Soph. Quality players doing quality things and performing in a quality manner. I mean, this young man here, oh God. So, you know, we argued about, you know, whether it was right for him to go out on loan again and whether he'll have a future at the club.
And you didn't. You said that he should have gone to a Premier League club and that going on loan to Liga was a mistake. You wanted to see him.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not say it was. I did not say it was a mistake, Sophie. I said I would have preferred him to go to a Premier League club because he needs experience. But that doesn't mean that doesn't
You thought
mean
that maybe he was
it's
not
a mistake.
taking.
Does it? Him
No,
going
but
on loan is
you
right.
thought he took the easy route out at the time.
Yes, him going on loan. I thought he could have gone to a Premier League club, but him going on loan is right. I always backed him to come back and have a future. Many didn't. Many said he'd be sold, he'd be this, he'd be that.
Yeah, I did not think he would play for the club.
But that's neither here or there now because he is there and he's making a difference. Zinchenko's making a difference. Jesus is making a difference. This is 2 players who know how to win the Premier League and 1 young player at the back who is like, he's got experience beyond his years, which is really helping what we do.
So, I mean, the impact he had and the goal he scored. Kev, I have to get your take on this. That's going to really annoy opposing fans, isn't it? It's fantastic. I love how we've become annoying.
I'll tell you what, Soph.
My second point.
Soph, I'll tell you what, it's really going to annoy them when we're winning. And the away fans and that are starting to sing that. That's really going to get under their skin.
Kev,
Sophie, that connection with the fans is something special. It really is. It really is. And it seems like they've got a song for virtually everybody now.
3 great songs for those 3.
But that means things are progressing on the pitch. As you said, process to progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the fans feel it, then the songs start coming out. The connections are there. Amazing. Absolutely. The away fans have been amazing. The home fans have been amazing. But they're reflecting what they're seeing on the pitch, Soph.
Yeah.
They love what they're seeing on the pitch.
And we're annoying them because we've got really 3 really good players, could be world class. I mean, Gabriel, some people would argue he's already there and he's already world class. Zinchenko, Saliba. I think we're annoying people because we got players like this. We're annoying people because our own players are reacting like that. We're annoying people because we've got energy on the touchline. We're annoying people with our songs. Kev, I have always said when a team annoys me for these reasons, they get under your skin because you see something different. Talking point number 2 for me is, don't you love how we're becoming annoying to opposing fans and the media in a little way?
Arsenal are always annoying, Soph. The great thing is, it's great to be able to annoy them when we're winning. Because if you look previously, People were getting annoyed when we've won 1 or 2 games or the way we've celebrated. And now our performances are top class. We're winning games and our songs are getting right under their nose. But this is the beautiful part about what we need to do. We need to keep that consistency and keep winning. Because you know what, Sophie? You can imagine what they're waiting for. They're waiting for us to slip up.
Yeah,
So
even
they-
some
so
of our
they-
own fans. Too
so they
much
can-
gloating. Have you learned
Exactly.
anything?
So they can go for the jugular. It's not even gloating. Why can't you be happy that you're winning? You know, maybe some Arsenal fans have forgotten what it's like to win consistently. I haven't, and I don't. I much prefer being in this position than where we were last season, Soph. That's for sure.
Dear. Who scored for United? They're 1-0 up, everybody. 1-0 up. We're going to get you out of here soon so we can go watch the game. 8 o'clock. We stick to our appointments. Hey, squaddies, look at this. Big game on, and we're here. We're here for you. Okay. Get those likes up as well.
Sorry, Sancho scored.
Nice. Good for him.
Good goal as well, by the way. Really good goal.
Half his eye.
Good feet in the box. Dropped his shoulder. Went past another. Stuck it in.
All right, lovely. Okay, so point number 1 was it's only 3 games. Who have you played? Kev answered that. I agree. You can only play who's in front of you and compared it to last season's first 3 games and how people wanted to have a pop at us about that too. The darts just keep on coming and Arsenal continues to be the dartboard. Second point of the Monday Madness top 5 was oh my God. Being annoying to people and how we're loving that part. 3, Kev. There's talk. I'm going to tie these two in together. Neto, is he a go for you? Are you happy about that potentially if it happens? And then the second part to that is if there are no signings, we're just 10 days out here. Do you have the same fear that many squaddies in chat have been asking, and they've also been asking you in our comment section on YouTube, if Partey's injured, if Xhaka's injured, you know, are we going to ruin our own season without, you know, doing the right things to reinforce the way we should have given the opportunity? How do you see those two things?
Look, at the end of the day, we're a better team already so far. Do we want more? Yes, we do. Neto, I like Neto. I think he's a really good player and would definitely add something to our team or our squad. That's for sure. Make us even more deep. And he's somebody who's very direct. You know, you heard Mikel Arteta say after the game about firepower. He's somebody who could supply firepower because he's very, very good. If we don't sign anybody, Sophie, can we get through? No, remember, we're only talking about getting through to January.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. Can we get through to January with this squad? I think we could get through to January with this squad. But one thing we can't do after that, Sophie, is make the same decisions as we did last January, where nobody comes in. So the fact Zinchenko could play in midfield, the fact El Neni could play there, the fact Lokonga can play there, and it may be a downgrade, but can we get through? I think maybe we can get through until January, but we have to be able to bring the necessary body or bodies in. That's what we have to do. So, Neto, yes. I think Tielemans is still on the cards. Obviously, he didn't play on Saturday, so that might be something going on. But I'd like us to move from a position of strength. So we're top of the league. We're looking good. Bring the bodies in now. Bring them in now. Go and sign them now when we're strong, when everybody's confidence is up, and let them get a feeling of the crowd and how we're playing. That's what I believe.
Do you think there's part of it too, though, that with Arteta being such a preparedness manager and a stickler for, the passion, the emotion, the 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 whole essence of team building, that maybe he wants this team as it is and doesn't want the disruption. I asked you this last week, and you felt no, he'd take a Neto or a Tielemans, give him more
Both.
ammunition, right? So with the World Cup sandwich, though, in between, Kev, do you fear that if we don't do business now, January can become even more expensive than it might normally would?
Yeah, maybe, maybe, but that's a risk you run if you don't bring them in now. That's just a risk you have to take sometimes. So again, the key is getting the players in,
Mm.
recognizing the quality players that you want, and getting them in the building. That's the name of the game now for Arsenal.
Yeah,
And if you want more firepower, Soph, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Of the wide players that have been mentioned, including the ones that potentially we have at the club right now, Kev, that we talked about in Friday's show. If you guys want to listen to that, we talked about maybe who can fit in to those wide positions. And stop with the Pepe thing because he wasn't really playing or wasn't a choice. But you've got Fabio Vieira, you've got Smith Rowe. There are some options for us. Hakpo, by the way, it's pronounced with a. My friend Kevin Hatchard taught me the other week. Neto, some of these other players that have been mentioned, Kev, is he the pick of the bunch for you? We're not settling for a player, are we here?
Settling for who?
Yeah,
Neto.
for Neto, yeah.
How are we settling? No, I don't
Well,
think we're
because
settling
maybe
at all.
there's other players that might be a little bit better, and yeah, Marquinhos as well, DJ Assassin. I'm asking a genuine question because we wanted Rafinha, and there were other players part of the mix that maybe were too expensive, or in the end, those players really wanted to join other clubs. I'm just making sure that
Yeah, but you're not
Neto is
settling. No, you're not settling.
okay.
He's a good player. So at the end of the day, everybody you go for, you're not going to get. But you have
Yeah.
to know. And the one other thing that's worked for us in this window, Soph, is signing players who know the Premier League.
Mhm.
Neto knows
Yeah.
the Premier League. So I don't think it would be settling for anything less than a quality player coming into the squad.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with you. Something else we talked about was finally signing players who you're not banking on maybe doing well in the
Yeah.
Premier League. They've done well in the Premier League and they can deliver as well. Kev, okay, so that's number 3. That's Neto mixed with are we worried about our depth? And I think that's going to be a conversation we continue to have until the transfer window closes. Number 4, Kev, here on Monday Madness, which feels more like a mellow Monday today, by the way. I guess this is what winning 3 and having 9 points and being top of the league does to people. Let's call
So,
this mellow Monday.
Soph, it's the rarefied air at the top, you see. It makes you it just
Smells
makes you mellow
different.
out. It makes you mellow out a little bit, when you're looking down and you see it City and some of those clubs. I mean,
I feel like
listen,
that time when I was in a hot spring in the middle of Idaho, in the middle of nowhere, and all you could see the stars above you, Kev, and actually the Milky Way, and in the distance, what looked like the Northern Lights, but weren't the Northern Lights, of course.
Soph,
Very special, Kev.
it's serene, isn't it? It's like, it
Yes.
really is serene. It's
Hmm.
positive vibes, DJ Assassin. Positive
Yeah.
vibes. That's it. Nothing gloating,
Yeah.
nothing fancy. But you
Like
know
being at the
what? We're
spa.
here for. We're here. We've earned it. So we've earned it.
It feels like being at the football spa, you know, just chilling, got your creams on, and you're just relaxing. Or like listening to one of those late night shows, Kev, and here's a song for all you lovers out there in the dark. All right, point number 4, Kev. I'll twist things up a little bit and make it a little bit mad, maybe. Get out this mellow mood. Come on, everyone, the beginning of the week. Have Arsenal got anything to fear?
Of
Should
course.
they fear anyone or anything? If so, tell me what.
Arsenal got themselves to fear. So they've got themselves to fear. Other teams, no. I don't. Listen, a lot of these young players, it was a young squad last season, quite inexperienced. They played everybody twice last season. Got nothing to fear, nothing whatsoever. They know who their main rivals are going to be. They know what they're up against. Now that they've got even more quality in, there's nothing to fear. Now, the biggest fear from within will be when the challenges come, Soph, they step up. Because that's all that let them down last season, Soph, was when it really got hottest, they couldn't get over the line. Right at the end. So, how much have we learnt? So now it is all about our players, not the opposition. It's all about our players. And I'm sure they carried that backpack of losing out the Champions League last season into pre-season, and they seem to be a lot more ruthless, which is a good thing. So I expect them to relish the challenges now. I really do. And we're going to find out about them. Can they lose? Of course, we're going to lose games. The key is going to be, Soph, can they stay consistent? Because that's been our downfall in the past.
Yeah. And I agree with you that the only people we should fear, or what they should fear, is themselves, 100%. And you could see that towards the end and in certain games of, in the All or Nothing documentary, is that the occasion got to them. They didn't know how to handle it. And when you haven't been there before, it's a very tough situation to be in, which is why the mentality of a Zinchenko and a Gabriel Jesus will add so much more to this. Kev, I wanted to also, number 5 on my point of list is football is supposed to be fun. And we touched on it at the beginning just a little bit. And with the songs and our fans, who were the man of the match and women of the match for me, once again this week, Kev, it's okay to enjoy being at the top of the table and having won 3 games in a row. It's so much fun than the opposite, like we said. But how much fun, forget us for a second, as a footballer, you take us across those white lines so many times. How much fun is it when stuff like this happens? Because he became a fanboy on the pitch, and to kind of see a player react that way, and to see our sideline react that way. When Klopp does it, it's passionate. When Conte does it, born winners. When we do it, once again, are they overreacting just a little bit? How much fun is it as a player to have these moments? And if you're his teammate, what would you be saying to Zinny in the dressing room after that?
I wouldn't be saying anything to Zinny, because he's probably feeling like a lot of the other players. What can't this guy do, man? You know what I mean? What can't he do? I mean, his pass rate, Sophie, is 100%. As a defender, 100%. That's incredible. Let's be honest, Soph. Football is a hard sport. It's tough. It's tough to get together a winning mentality. It's tough to win. So, Sophie, when you do win and you get that feeling, it's the best in the world, Soph. Trust me, it's the best feeling in the world when you've put the work in on the training ground, you've put the work in pre-season, you've got into the league now, and you win the first one. Tough one at Crystal Palace. You win the second one at the Emirates, and then you go away to Bournemouth, and then you win comfortably. And your centre half, who's been away for 3 years, he's just come back. He's incredible. He's young, but he's an incredible player, and he left foots one in the top bin. If you can't enjoy that as a player, as a teammate, as staff, as fans. You know what, Soph? We might as well shut everything down.
Right.
That's what we that's why we're here. That's why the boys train. That's what they put all that work in for, so to win. I never knew Saliba could do that, but now I'm gonna expect it from him. I mean, so what a goal that was. What an
It was
incredible goal.
it came out I mean, it came out of nowhere, and what a peach. I mean, what technique. And Lee Dixon couldn't get enough, Kev. You should have heard him on the broadcast. So the Saliba song, he said to Peter Drury after a few times, he goes, "Would it be wrong if I got involved in that right now?" In his accent. And then he just was salivating over the technique of his, because look at the extent, look at his knee, just look at the way he just was like water. It was like Bruce Lee, be water, you
Fluid,
know?
fluid.
Yeah.
Sophie, let me tell you something. There are many forwards who can't do that. Trust me. Many who would have took a touch, let alone first time it, top bins. What can't he do, Soph? What can't he do? Saliba. He's incredible. He's been incredible. So, and I know it's a small sample size that we've had, but the eye test tells you and me he's for real.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
the eye
very.
test says. He's for
He's
real.
fun. This is what I wanted to ask you and make a very important point as part of our top 5 tonight is they've made it fun. Like, it's so much fun watching this guy play. It's so much fun watching this guy play. It's so much fun
Look at the
watching.
smiles, Soph. Look at the smiles.
No,
Brilliant. Listen, would we rather unhappy faces or smiling faces as gooners? We'd much rather smiley faces.
I mean,
But to
Kev,
get that solved, to get the smiley faces, they've got to cross the white line and do the business. And that's what they've been doing. So they deserve all the plaudits so far.
totally. I mean, look, when you have oven potatoes, it's so much fun when you have the smiley ones. Just 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 saying, right, here we go. The last 10 minutes, we're going to get Super Kev's questions to you. Hit that like button, please, if you're enjoying our bordering on Mellow Monday madness show today. Love Island Ben. I love it. If he's not Benny Blanco, yeah, everyone loves a little bit of Ben. I love hearing Arteta saying the boys were singing the chant in the changing room too. Can you imagine it now? Yeah.
So, do you know what? Something I want to say about the Arsenal fan base and the squaddies on here. Last week we got questions about they were worried about the right side of our team. Do you remember?
Yes.
Everything's going down the left. What's happening with the right side? Was there any comments about the right side this week? Because our right side was the more fluent, was the more productive, and Ben White, especially for the second goal, played an incredible role, getting round the back of Saka, timing perfectly, cut it back to Jesus. Jesus took the touch. And Odegaard, who we nitpicked about, be responsible and shoot. Well, Sophie, he definitely listened to us, didn't he?
I think so.
Martin, noted. Well done. Keep it up.
He was on fire in that first half, So same energy, all the Odegaard haters out there questioning him. Remember, we said there's going to be games where he works in the shadows, and there's going to be games where he kind of takes over, and he may take over when you don't see it as well. He's important to this team, and he's another player that needs to stay fit. Right, we're going to hand it over real quick while we have him here to ask some questions. Lynn, my only concern is, for example, when we play North London Derby, they go there with right mentality. Let's not worry about that yet, Kev. We're not there yet, but if this team is playing and doing well, Kev?
Yeah, but you see, so again, this is kind of the same narrative that we discussed a little bit earlier about the mentality is what we're worried about is our only problem. Is going to be us. Is our team, is our players. I ain't worried about Spurs. I'm more
Mhm.
worried about us. About our players having the right mentality. At the moment, we've got the right mentality, but they have to learn how to get over that hump. That's what they have to learn. They have to learn to be able to go into the gladiators den and come out victorious. That's what they've got to learn now.
That's
And
what Daniel.
they're learning that at a Bournemouth and Crystal Palace, but it's some of them big teams that we're gonna have to get it right.
Real quick, Guna Russ with 3 additions. Can we get top 3? Kev thinks that maybe we'll get top 3 without the additions. Kev, what's your answer to Guna Russ here?
Yeah, I said I think we'll finish third, Guna Russ, and nothing's changed. At the moment, if we find ourselves in this position come Christmas or come the break for World Cup, who knows? Then we might assess the situation. But I still think we are destined for top 3, for third. I said we'd finish third. So
Demsek is asking a question many are asking, Kev. We touched on this last week. You're of the notion, and just, I think, remind everyone that Arteta will not change this team for the time being, and Ben White's position is pretty solidified there for now. Tomiyasu does not walk back into this side.
he doesn't, and it's the right way to be when you're winning games. What will Ben White be thinking? Ben White will be thinking, do you know what? We're winning games. I've got a guy beside me, a young guy beside me who is excellent. I can play right back. I can join in, and look who I've got behind me to help me. Listen, Ben White, like I said, at the weekend, done what was needed. He was even more offensive than I've seen him previously, which is good. When we're dominating the ball, we're going to need him to be that way. But a lot of the time, Sophie, we're not going to even need him to be too offensive. He's going to be able to sit there, depending on opposition, and play his position, which is what we want. We want him to be able to dovetail right back, centre back, or in midfield. But now Saliba's there. Saliba's playing out of his skin. So
Yep.
he is.
I think you answered Amira's question too. Archangel is asking if it's his imagination that Arteta's sitting down a lot more now and is more relaxed during games.
No, Archangel, you are absolutely correct. He is sitting down more. And why is he sitting down more? Because he's getting what he wants.
Yep.
You know, I remember Mikel Arteta getting some stick because he overcoaches and he does this and he's giving out too much information. Well, if the team done what he wanted, as you can see, he can sit back, relax. I think the difference has been Zinchenko, especially. Obviously, Jesus, we know. But Zinchenko, especially, and Saliba at the back, being comfortable on the ball. Just if there's any break, they quell it and then they keep us moving again. So, yeah, the more we see Mikel Arteta sit down, is the better we're doing. So, I don't mind him getting plenty of splinters.
And thanks, Mikey, for the comment on the graphics. We're paying homage to our pink, passionate display over the weekend. Bera says, I was wondering if we don't get a defensive midfielder, would Zinni be able to be in that position due to his versatility? Kev, I think yes is the answer, 100%.
Yeah, I do. I think he could play there. I think he could do a good job there, if I'm honest. Because if you check the midfield, a lot of the times he's playing beside Thomas Partey anyway when we're dominating the ball, which is a really good thing. So, look, Thomas Partey right now is just playing in the shadows. He's doing his job. He doesn't need to be spectacular. That's what I love. We don't need him to be breaking the neck and trying too much. He just needs to get the ball, win it, give it, because the boys at the top end of the pitch are doing the business. Maybe against some of the better teams, we might need him to take on a bit more of of a role, a leadership role in there to get us going. But while the team's winning and while he's doing what he's doing, don't change it.
200 plus of you in live chat this busy Monday, one of the biggest games on the football calendar, not only in England, but in the world. Many of you watching that. Thanks for listening on replay. Thanks to all of our audio listeners on iTunes, Spotify, and Acast. Kev, who is the unsung hero so far this season? I like this question from Elliot.
Unsung hero? You could say, you could go game by game, to be honest, Soph. You could go game by game. Ben White in the first game against Crystal Palace, everybody was worried about him coming up against Louis Saha, and he done a really good job on him. And look what Zaha's done in the next two games. You know, Liverpool Villa, he destroyed Liverpool in a bit and scored a good goal and really should have scored a second. And he destroyed Villa at the weekend, virtually single-handed. So, you know, you could say Ben White, you could say Partey, or you could say Xhaka has been unsung heroes. I mean, Gabriel at the back doesn't get any word said about him, but you know what? A lot of people don't give him the credit. I think he's doing a great job beside Saliba. Saliba could get all the plaudits, but Gabriel, for me, is doing a solid pros job right beside him.
I love it. For me, it's Xhaka a little bit. Definitely Gabriel. Ben White, I think, gets too much hate, and I think he's getting the love that he deserves. And I want to see this against top-tier teams. I'm not one of those, well, who have we played? It's only 3 games. I would love to see us put in performances like we did against City again this season, against Liverpool, trounce United when we go to Old Trafford. But as you're seeing in football this weekend, Chelsea trounced by Leeds. You know, Fulham, we're playing them this weekend. They're no mugs. They're off to a better start than people thought. They're not the same Fulham that came up a couple of seasons ago and went down, Super Kev. You know, it's just not that easy. Big up to you too, Chrissy. Kev, one of his childhood heroes, right here, Super Kev. Chrissy's childhood hero.
Nice one, Chrissy. Thank you very much.
Gunnar Russ thinks the unsung heroes are the fans. Bloody magnificent.
They're not unsung. They don't stop singing, Russ. Come on, they're not unsung, mate.
We've been giving them a lot of sugar.
They've been brilliant. They've been brilliant.
We'll get Kev out in these next 2. There's one about Partey that someone posted, and it's Nuna here. And many people are asking this question, Kev. What do you think about this? Do you think that what you said earlier about Zinchenko, if it comes to that, you've got El Neni, of course, that can come in and do a job.
So
we know he
cover.
can't.
We've got cover. A lot of people, we don't need to sign cover because we've got cover. It might not be the cover that people want, in a sense, although I think people are getting to the idea that they could trust Zinchenko if he played centre midfield. I think they could do that. But for me, it's firepower, Soph. If you've got the firepower to win games, you can negate what you lose from maybe losing a Partey. But if you haven't got the firepower, and this is probably how we failed, if you haven't got the firepower, you're in games and you're pushing, and then you don't score, then the opposition end up scoring. You end up losing the game because you don't have that same push and oomph in your team. So I think there's cover. I really do. El Neni could do a job. Zinchenko could do a job. I think there's enough cover. There's 2 players there.
Not over a long period of games, though. We can't lose this. You saw the impact of losing Tierney last season over a longer period of games. Thomas Partey over a longer period of games. Tomiyasu over a longer period of games. Short term, we had some answers, but when it got to the crux of it towards the end of the season, they show their capability and the ceiling that they reach. Cannot have those plays, which is why seeing Ben White being able to step in, his quality, I think he's showing that. When you see the Zinchenko can come in for Tierney. We haven't skipped a beat. We've actually gotten a lot better. Same thing with Jesus. He goes like, is Eddie Nketiah going to be able to do that consistently the way Jesus plays? No, because he offers so much more even when he doesn't have the ball, Kev. So that is why I think the depth part becomes a bit of an issue should there be longer term injuries, and with a World Cup sandwiched in the middle of the season, anything's possible.
But that's why you've got to find a way, Soph. Yeah,
Mhm.
the players coming in are not Thomas Partey or Gabriel Jesus, but we still went to Chelsea last season and beat Chelsea at their place 4. You know,
Yeah, but and then we collapsed after that, though, didn't we, Kev?
yeah. But the point is, Soph, we now have more players in the squad who are proven Premier League players.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need more players? Of course we do. But I think if you look where the manager's looking, he ain't looking at no defensive midfield. He's looking at offensive midfield and wide. He's looking at people who can be difference makers because he knows I could shore that midfield up. But if we can't score goals, Sophie, it becomes irrelevant. It's too much for the midfield to hold. But if you've got firepower that can get you 1-2 goals in front, then the opposition have to adjust, and that's when you kill them. And that was our problem at the back end.
And also our problem at the back end, Kevin, during the season was if Aubameyang wasn't scoring goals and Lacazette was, and Saka's kind of dried up and Emile Smith-Rowe's coming off the bench and we're expecting him to be the hero. Now you're getting goals from Odegaard and Saliba's coming in, and that needs to be consistent too, right? It's not only the front three.
By committee.
Yeah.
By committee. Yeah. Gabriel chipped in with, 6 goals? That's brilliant for a centre-half. So we've got kind of do it by committee. We're going to need Jesus to get 15, 20, 25 goals this season, Soph.
Yes.
We're going to need 10, minimum 10 from Saka. We're going to need minimum 10 from Martinelli. We're going to need between 5 and 10 from Odegaard. We're going to need 5 and 10 from Xhaka. We've got to demand more goals. We've got to.
All right, brilliant stuff. This Monday Madness. That was your top 5. We were asking you guys, and let us know in the comment section what you think as well. It's only 3 games, but who have you played yet? Number 1, number 2, and I'm just having a brain fart right now. It's about the fun and how much fun is it to watch these players play football. Again, we talked about Neto, we talked about transfers, we talked a little bit about fear and what this team has to fear. And you guys let us know what you think as well. We'll have a YouTube comment show coming up fairly soon. Some great comments from the shows that we did last week. I got a text, by the way, in the middle of the game, Kev, from Jordan Jarrett Bryant saying, hey, aye, Zinny looks good, doesn't he?
I got the same one. And I politely replied.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The Black Falcon TV guys are here, getting some swag off to Kev pretty soon. It's going to happen. Soph, brain farts are my normal day. Thank you very much, Demsec. There's a lot to digest and remember. Don't forget to visit our friends at Zenith Coins. Put in HS20. You get 20% off your coin. It's collectible, and they are the official partner of the Arsenal Football Club. Please go to Gooners v Cancer, gvclive.com at Gooners v Cancer. We have an event happening on the 2nd of September. You get to see Harry Symeou and Latte Firm and Tom Canton and myself talking football on a panel. Go to gvclive.com, get your tickets. They're only $5, and you get to put your name in a hat and win some insanely good Arsenal memorabilia, Kev. Gooners v Cancer doing it again, trying to raise more money.
A fantastic cause. Magic Mike does a fantastic job. Brilliant
stuff. Now, there's no live show tomorrow, by the way. 250 of you. By the way, yes. Rest in peace, Vinny. He was a listener of Tom Canton's show in particular. and he came to our event in London, and he
Met him
was
there, yeah,
so
good, lovely lad,
happy to
lovely
meet
guy.
Kev and got his picture taken, and just shows you once again the challenges that many families and friends and the community face when it comes to this terrible disease. And to Vinny's family, we send our love, and to all of his friends and everyone in the Arsenal community who knew him. Just a top shelf lad, and came down that day and was so stoked to get to meet everybody. So um, our love to Vinny and Vinny's family, and you know, it
Deep
was
condolences.
really
Deep
sad, Kev. Really
condolences.
sad news.
Yeah.
And of course, to the man who gave us the carpet, uh,
Steve Braddock.
Steve Braddock, who was just a master at his profession, somebody who changed the game and was a trailblazer when it came to how to present football. And he did that working in conjunction with several managers and team members at the Arsenal Football Club. And my goodness, Kev, love to his family too. Gone too soon. To Steve's family, we send our love and our condolences as well. Um, and, what we can do is only what we can do, and that's to try and help, which is why charities like Gooners v Cancer is really important. So if we put our energy together, when our community comes together, we do some special things. And Ruth Beck will be donating her art again, and there'll be plenty of other great things happening on the night. And you also get to see some of your favorite podcasters as well. We have a massive show coming to you at on Wednesday. I'm so excited I can't even find my feet. Look out tomorrow for the announcement, or should I tell him, Kev? No, I'm going to make him wait.
I like the squaddies to wait.
What Kev wants, Kev gets.
They've had a nice show today. Wait till tomorrow.
Wait till tomorrow. Massive announcement. Huge show, which is going to broadcast earlier. It's going to be at 4:00 UK time. And it is probably, it's going to be great. It's going to be one of the best. And
It's
you'll have
legendary.
not one Arsenal legend on that day. You'll have two. So please be sure to watch out on our community page and on Twitter. Kev, I've done all the housekeeping. I've let everybody know. Lots of love to all those that we mentioned, all of friends and family. Super Kev tells you every single show, and he's going to tell you again. Take us out, Super Kev.
Right, squaddies. Always remember, tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know what's going to happen. Deepest condolences to Vinny and Steve Braddock, to his family, all the families and friends, and everybody who loves them. Squaddies, hit the like button if you love us or you like us. And even if you don't, hit it anyway. Do a Vinny and a Vespa. All right? Squaddies, enjoy being top. We know it's early, but this is what we're planning for. This is what we wanted. And now we're here. Don't let anybody tell you we don't deserve it. Squaddies, at ease. At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
The Highbury Squad is powered by ZENITH Coins. Support the future, treasure the past. Official licence partner of the Arsenal Football Club. Follow at ZENITH Coins across all social platforms.